Hello, my name is Georgia Dunham. I'm going to be talking about women in the media. So we will present real quick. If my computer, there we go. All right. So as a woman in media, creative media to be specific, I think it's important to understand the many facets and complexities that come with women being in media. There tends to be a negative connotation, one for women who feel as though it's closed off to us, even though it shouldn't be, and there are movements to make women more prominent in media. But then also because there has been inappropriate and very sexual advertisements, movies, films, TV shows that put women in a very negative light, which is unfortunate. Women in the media should be something that we are celebrating and that we get excited about. Women should not feel like when they're portrayed in the media that it's just for sexual reasons, because women are bold and we're all different, and there's so much more to us than just sexuality and sexualization in general. So we're going to start by talking about women negatively portrayed in the media. Women have been negatively portrayed in the media for many years. Whether it be through commercials, film, television, or news, women have been objectified and sexualized as means of reinforcing gender roles. As you guys probably know, there are many different gender roles that our society have put in place. There are different reasons that these gender roles exist. But just to keep it on track, these gender roles essentially say that women are really only necessary for reproductive needs and for the sexual pleasure of males, which is just not true. There's so much more to us than just what is portrayed in the media. Advertisements in specific really tend to look at the outward appearance of women rather than what's on the inside, making our ads very sexual, making them overtly about how to look more beautiful. And that just puts unfortunate pressures on young women from an early age that just kind of set those expectations for women to look a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way. And it makes it very tough growing up having that kind of a media outlook. But then on top of that, there's just the fact that there's not as many main speaking roles for women in films that are interesting characters, that are strong female characters that go outside of just being a sexual object. The same goes for news. Women have been fighting their ways into news and sports for years. And there's just this negative aspect of it being a man's world. But that's just not the case. There should be a space, and hopefully there will be a large space in the future for women to know that those areas are not just for males; they're for everybody. So we're gonna watch a bit of this video.
The Geena Davis Institute on Gender and Media and its programming arm, CJane, is the only research-based organization working within the entertainment industry to change female portrayals and gender stereotypes in children's media and entertainment. The Institute was founded in 2004 by Academy and Golden Globe award-winning actor and advocate Geena Davis.
The worldview that we are reflecting to children is very, very imbalanced. For every one female character, there are 3 male characters. And in crowd scenes, bizarrely, only 17% of the characters are female. And of the female characters that did exist, the majority were highly stereotyped and or hypersexualized with, get this, G-rated animated characters wearing the same percentage of sexually revealing clothing as R-rated characters.
So that just kind of gave a bit of a space and more information just on how women are portrayed in today's society, and how they're portrayed in the media, and just how the disparity is compared to men, and how not only is there an underrepresentation of women in media, but also we can see that women are hypersexualized, and there's more to us than just that.
The Institute's mission.
Sorry, you guys. It is apparently very hard for me to figure out. There we go. Okay. So back on track, examples of women being negatively portrayed. These are a few examples of where media reinforces the idea that women are only seen as sex objects rather than human beings who are worth much more than just their looks. So this right here is a old advertisement from the 1950s where it's talking about this woman's face. She has nice hair, nice eyes, nice teeth, but these charms might be wasted if she uses the wrong deodorant. So a lot of advertisements, even in today's society, it just goes towards women's looks and how to achieve a certain look, how to look a certain way, which is unfortunate because it says that the only thing that matters is the way that we look, which in turn turns into the only reason we matter is for sexual acts. If you look good, people would want to sleep with you. This is an example of a film wherein people only saw this certain character as a sexual object. She was the wife to the Wolf of Wall Street, and the only time we really saw her was when he wanted to have sex, or if there was a need for this whole sexual moment. But there's so much more to women than being the housewife or being someone just to sleep with. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of her character outside of being the doting wife to the Wolf of Wall Street. Alrighty. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to go to our next one. So in the beginning of my paper, I talked about the medium as the message. So Marshall McLuhan coined this term to help people understand the media's purpose, as well as the purpose of the media content creators. He saw that it was all interconnected and that personal biases could be displayed subliminally through the medium. So this is a little video about kind of the idea of the media being the message.
The medium is the message, declared Marshall McLuhan. He even wrote a book with that name, except that when the proofs came back from the typesetter as the medium is the massage, he liked the mistake in the title so much he kept it. This has confused people ever since, though he might have intended a visual pun on massage and mass age. But what does the medium is the message really mean? It's a deliberately paradoxical statement. When you get a message, it's the message that's the message, isn't it? The content rather than its form. McLuhan's genius was to focus on the medium itself. He argued that throughout history, what has been communicated has been less important than the particular medium through which people communicate. The technology that transfers the message changes us and changes society.
So that just kind of talked about how the ways in which that we get media, the medium is what we kind of get all of our information from. So the medium, whether that be through a film, whether that be news or a newspaper or a blog, it's the people behind it, their biases being subliminally shown through the message. And so it's just kind of an interesting thing to think about as we talk about the way women are displayed and portrayed, because it kind of shows that truly the people who are in charge of these media outlets, that's what's kind of keeping us in this realm of women are less than and they're not being represented. So lastly, women in the media, reflection of society. Though there are issues seen in the way women are portrayed, it can be said that women are represented as a reflection of the society they live in. There are also movements to make change in how women are represented in the media. So despite the fact that we kind of just talked about how there is a disparity between men and women shown in media, it can be said that the whole reason that happens is that it's simply a reflection of the way our society already thinks. So if our society already thinks that way, it kind of asks the question, is there an issue with it? I personally believe there is, but there are some people who believe that, because it's a reflection of society, you can't get upset that they have been in the past sexualized, because that's just how we saw them at that time, that women were just needed for reproductive reasons. But since we are now making movements to see that women are much more than just their bodies, the way that we represent women in media is beginning to change. We're starting to see a drastic change in the fact that we're putting more strong female roles out there, that more women are entering the media scene, that more women are wanting to be journalists, are wanting to be in the news and tell the news, which is very important. I found this video which talks about women in media, and I thought it was really neat just because it talks about the initiative that it will take for women to be able to continue to be in these spaces because they belong in these spaces.
Women in positions of leadership and power in the media and entertainment world.
What will it take? It will take us being bold. What will it take? It will take us being brave. What will it take? It will take us being fearless. What will it take? It will take power of the pack. When you put women in any equation, the equation gets better.
I think it's important that, it doesn't come just from us. It comes from corporations, the people who are in a position to actually be truly impactful. That's their responsibility. I think there's a business imperative and there's a moral imperative to make sure that you're actually actively shaping what we see.
In Hollywood, it is an issue of where I don't think we're going to make change and without a big fight. And I will tell you, the fight's been going on for so long, and I just put down some. So it's a civil rights issue, right? It's a Title VII. It's a workplace discrimination issue where.
So that just kind of gives you a bigger glimpse into the fact that these issues that are in our society about how women are represented is just how people believe we deserve to be represented. So in some ways it is a reflection of the way that our society acts and believes, that women are just not allowed to be in these spaces. But there's a strong movement for women to be put in these spaces, to be allowed in these spaces, and I think it's really crucial as we grow as a society to understand that women belong in media. So thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope that you guys learned something and that I was able to kind of touch on the very complex issues that come with understanding women in media and understanding that we have to grow as a society to have more women, more representation in media, because there is so much more to women than just our bodies and what we look like. And so I think it's going to be really important for us to continue to fight for our place at the table that we should have had years ago. Thank you.